building on Market Street in downtown Charlottesville. It's the Friday edition of the show. A Friday, a mere, how would you characterize this? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, less than 72 hours removed from Kris Kringle slipping down chimneys across Charlottesville, Albemarle County, and Central Virginia. Judah and I are going to have some fun as I literally and figuratively am rolling up my sleeves on the talk show. The network is growing. We have new shows that we will introduce in January. We're excited for that news. I tease it for you to wet your whistle and to get you excited. What our goal has been for the network is to be the water cooler of information. We highlight our passion, and our passion is entrepreneurship, real estate, politics, sports, current events, helping folks, nonprofits, development, deal flow, and predictions of where we think the market's going to go. We'll talk some of that today, but we're also going to be jovial and jolly on the show. I think you'll see Judah Wickower in a matter of moments. I want to continue to highlight everything that he's been doing well on the program. I think Judah's just absolutely blossomed on the show. And he is a key contributor to the program. In fact, we'll welcome Judah/Frosty on the Friday edition of the show. You have your sisters and your niece coming from California. We'll play a little trivia today. We will have some fun today, but I want to first, before I forget, and not that I should, but prioritize is a better way of putting it, highlight how grateful I am for having you on the team. 13 years as the right-hand person of the operation. You and my better half, key contributors to what we do here. You may be wearing a scarf and a Frosty hat. You've taken the Frosty nose away, but...
not very comfortable.
I know it's not very comfortable. I don't want it to take away your attire, the influence and the impact that you have on the businesses, the program, the building, and all the above. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to you having, it looks like you have about 10, 11 days to re-energize and recharge. January is going to be an incredibly exciting time for the businesses that we operate here. Mm-hmm. The rentals are full. The rentals are growing. The client roster is growing. We have new programming content coming to market, which you know one of the shows that's coming to market.
Yeah.
And I'm just so charged and ready to go for January. I can't wait for January to get there. Perhaps you're excited for the hiatus. And I want to spend the next half hour or so not only championing you, but the viewers and listeners, and talking about some of our favorite elements of the show. The University of Virginia Media Department, UVA Today, released its top 10 stories of 2023. I want to highlight some of those. I want to highlight some of the topics that the viewers and listeners want. But before we do that, I want to celebrate you. So Judah Wickower and the Wickower clan, some of the fantastic memories or traditions you like to celebrate.
We've got, let's see. One of our fun traditions for Christmas is somebody, and sometimes we have to kind of force it on them, but somebody gets the Santa cap.
The Santa cap.
Yeah.
So this is the
Christmas morning.
Okay. Almost like in spin the bottle capacity, but instead you're wearing a Santa cap. Okay.
One person gets the Santa cap, and they are the gift giver.
Okay, I like that.
They've got to find, they've got to kind of keep a steady flow and to keep the presents. You can't give like 5 presents in a row to my mom or one of my sisters. You got to keep it. You got to keep it cycling through every family member. So it's they get to walk around the tree, pick out the presents, find which one to give next, and pass them across. And they're the one that wields the trash bag for all the.
We have the trash bag for the wrapping paper.
Yeah, wrapping paper, ribbons that aren't reusable, that kind of stuff. So that's always fun.
Is it a white elephant scenario, or is it depth in presents under the Christmas tree? Do you have a lot of presents?
There's a decent number of presents usually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So everyone's getting 5 to 10?
I'd say closer to the 5 mark.
That's
than the
nice.
10.
It's very nice. Is your niece, the little one, spoiled at Christmas?
Well, this will be...
Granted, she's 1, I believe, right?
She's 2.5 now.
Okay, so she can kind of appreciate it.
She'll be 3 in March.
Albert Graves, happy holidays to you and yours as well, my friend.
Happy holidays. Yeah, I don't know that she was 1.5 last Christmas.
No way.
So I don't know that she was
Understood the
spoiled.
significance.
Yeah. She certainly got stuff. I mean, I'm sure she's got some fun presents coming to her this year, and she's a little closer to the age where she can appreciate that kind of thing.
I'm evidently having a big rib roast for Christmas.
Oh.
My wife is reminding me that I don't have my Santa hat on. I will go get it, sweetheart. I apologize for that. You curious to show as I put on my Santa hat? They're rather itchy.
Rib roast. I'm getting hungry now.
They're rather itchy, the hats. Your nose is not on. I will also highlight that it's...
Yeah, that nose is not comfortable at all.
I mentioned my Buddy the Elf costume got eaten up by Max the dog, the German Shepherd, which we know Judah's graciously volunteered to take care of Max the dog while my wife and our boys had to up the eastern seaboard to the beach for New Year's. Our 5.5-year-old, who you know, boisterous, exciting, high energy, very much appreciates the holiday now, and he is very much the center of the attention. Our youngest is 1, but at 5.5...
Does he get up even earlier than
he
usual on Christmas Day?
Now, we've played kind of a trick on him, and that we've let him have a later bedtime. So at 5.5, he's staying up past 10 o'clock, which he's showing signs of being a teenager already, sleeping in past 9 a.m., sometimes past 9:30 a.m. We hope it works on Christmas Day. The reality is I don't think it will. Regardless, our 1-year-old will be, what's a rooster do? Is that the one that wakes up with the sunrise?
They crow at the...
Is it crowing or cock-a-doodle-dooing? Or is it the same thing?
It's the same thing.
Can a rooster crows?
Yeah, roosters crow.
They don't a cock-a-doodle-doo is a different verb than crow.
Cock-a-doodle-doo is kind of an onomatopoeia version of what the crowing sounds like.
Is that the first reference of onomatopoeia on the program?
I think it is.
Do you want to highlight onomatopoeia to the viewers and listeners?
For those who don't know what onomatopoeia is, they are words that sound like what they're imitating. So,
I would say like a vocal imitation.
So a snake's hiss is an onomatopoeia.
Or a bee's buzz.
Because it's a word, but you're also imitating the sound that they're making.
Challenge for you on the fly. Spell onomatopoeia for the viewers and listeners.
Oh, man.
What are your skills of spelling?
Yeah, it's been probably 35 plus years.
I'm going to put you on the clock. I need an answer from you in less than 10 seconds. 10.
I'm going to get this wrong.
8.
But O-N-A-N. Oh, it's not O-N-A.
No.
O-N.
I'm looking at it.
Okay.
Just so you know I'm not.
O-N-O.
Yes.
M.
Yes.
A-T.
Yes.
A.
No. The O's are effing you up. O-N-O-M-A-T-O, and then you can take it from there.
Is it P-E-I-A?
P-O-E-I-A.
P-O?
J-Dubs.
I am not ashamed to not be able to spell that.
But you are a
damn
spelling
word.
aficionado.
Arguably
the wordsmith of the talk show.
Yeah. That doesn't mean I can spell anything.
I think the art of spelling is one that's being lost.
Yeah.
Olivia Branch.
I think people
Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays. I think a lot of people are just, they rely on auto correct now, and they don't have to worry about, you just, if as long as you're, it's like playing darts with a blindfold. It's like as long as you're in the general area of how the word is spelled, you can pretty much be pretty sure of the fact that that your iPhone or your Android is going to fix it for you.
Chad Wood, happy holidays to you, viewers and listeners. The holiday episode of the I Love CVille Show, the last I Love CVille Show until January, specifically January. We're taking almost 2 weeks off. The 3rd of January is when I'm back in the saddle. Not only time for Christmas, but I'm going to head up the Eastern Seaboard with my family to visit family at the beach, which I'm very excited about. Judah's graciously offered to volunteer to take care of the Miller dog, Max the German Shepherd. Evidently, we have a rib. What did she call it? She called it a
rib roast?
A big rib roast for Christmas.
Oh, man.
I want to highlight something that
sounds
is
delicious.
I know. She's amazing. I want to highlight this. Do you know Mona Lisa Pasta on Preston Avenue?
I know of it.
Have you ever eaten there?
No.
Mona Lisa Pasta on Preston Avenue is fantastic. Mona Lisa Pasta has some of the best pizza in the area.
Wow.
Mona Lisa Pasta has some of the best lasagnas in the area.
Are they a sit down, wait
No.
for your food, or is it a fast turnaround?
It's takeout. Order ahead and takeout. Now, they do have some tables there if you want to have a slice or two inside the restaurant. But it's a takeout place. You order ahead and you order a lasagna from Mona Lisa Pasta, Jerry's Way. That lasagna will wow you and knock your socks off. And it's become, over the last few years, a holiday tradition in the Miller household.
All right.
It is absolutely fantastic. You will surprise the Wickhauer clan if you order a lasagna, get the large one because you guys are going to want second helpings, and bring it to the family for dinner. They will be forever impressed.
The thing is, with my family, we kind of have to work around, well...
What, food allergies?
We've got...
Who's got the food allergies? Big Jim?
No.
And the sweater maker?
No. Mandy is a vegetarian.
Okay.
I
would never have guessed that for Mandy.
She's been a vegetarian for, I don't know, like maybe 5 years now.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit longer. Nowadays she does eggs and seafood.
Okay.
She didn't always. So when she didn't, that was definitely something to work around. Trisha, my youngest sister, is lactose intolerant, and
you have the ability to eat anything.
my niece was lactose intolerant, but apparently is I think over it by now. Used to be that couldn't give her so much as butter, or she'd start screaming and crying. I mean, not like right away, but anyways. So in the past, I've had to like if I wanted to make, when my sisters were in town, I've made like a seafood stew.
Seafood stew.
Which apparently
John Blair, Merry Christmas to you. Ray Cadell,
apparently
hello.
is so good that we're getting repeat requests for it. Just on the text chain the other night, there was a request that we have the stew again. So that's cool.
John says, I want to wish you and Judah the happiest of holidays. I would also hope that in the next 10 days, all viewers hug those that they love. We're not promised tomorrow.
Yeah.
And at this time of year, we can relax and express our appreciation for the most important in our lives. Cheers, folks. You all are beautiful children of God.
Amen.
Wow, John, that was amazing.
Thank you.
Same to you.
Merry Christmas.
Same to you. Merry Christmas. Have you noticed that it's become almost... I'm a Merry Christmas guy, right? In fact, I'm a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Mm-hmm. I cover all the bases with the Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Have you gotten any resistance with wishing the Merry Christmas to folks?
No,
I've
but
caught a little bit of friction from wishing
Really?
I say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. But I've caught a little bit of resistance from. I played a Christmas station at a get-together,
You played a what?
Christmas Pandora station,
Okay.
and was asked, what about the stations?
What about the Kwanzaa station?
Yes,
Really?
yes,
I was joking.
No.
I didn't even realize there was one.
was asked that.
Are there Kwanzaa songs?
I was unsure to answer.
Merry Kwanzaa,
And I said
baby.
I'm an equal opportunity Pandora station player. I felt a sense of responsibility after that statement with the Bose MIDI speaker. Like I was doing the playing of music injustice.
Okay.
I want 2024, maybe this is a resolution, maybe this is the end of the year chatter, to be a year where we are even more open-minded and willing to consider others and their perspectives. I'm fearful, and this is coming from a guy who hosts a talk show on the interwebs through social media and podcasting platforms, that these social media platforms and podcasting channels are creating silos or packs, or how would you characterize it? Tribes.
Yeah.
Tribes. And the tribes are either you're in my tribe, or I'm in your tribe, or you're in that other person's tribe. And it's not just, we're just people, humans. I want to see that change.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's too much of people being afraid of having a having a genuine thought outside of what is prescribed by their whatever group they associate with the most strongly.
We could agree to disagree.
Well, we can also agree to think for ourselves, and I think a lot of people have kind of like ceded control of that, and basically, if something my group, whatever my group is, if something they believe is, they're just afraid to step outside of the lane. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There are people that there's no actual reason to ever get into a discussion or argument with people like that, because there are no original thoughts in their head, and they'll just parrot whatever they've heard until you're blue in the face trying to have an actual discussion.
And I would say on this talk show in particular, of all the shows we're going to do, new shows coming in January to complement our existing schedule of content. Mm-hmm. And think about the content we're creating. I had this conversation over coffee this morning at Grit. I was meeting with two fine folks. We were talking all things Charlottesville, all things real estate, all things development, all things small business. We were talking about the verticals of content we do. They reached out because of the program and the content we do. Regularly watch the show on LinkedIn. We have our show, which we characterize as the front page of a newspaper. We have a sports show. Mm-hmm. We have a show that features the Hispanic community.
Yeah.
I think Kyle's show on Thursdays is really blossoming, where he's doing a fantastic job of featuring small business.
Yeah.
I think Keith's show does a great job of featuring real estate. I think Hillary's show is doing a good job of featuring female entrepreneurs, which is coming. We got a lifestyle show that's on the cusp of launching. We're trying to just become what is the water cooler of conversation. And I think our show in particular, the Monday through Friday flagship, the I Love CVille Show, does a good job of featuring content that's not just in the lane. We don't want to stay in the lane. We want to veer across all lanes. And it's not done with the idea of offending. It's done the idea of respectfully challenging social norms, respectfully challenging what's comfortable, and considering topics that may be out of bounds for the sake of the betterment of the community.
Yeah.
Like, what's UVA's role in the community is a good topic that comes up a lot in the I Love CVille show.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that the University of Virginia, for the class of 2028, recorded a record number of early action and early decision applications? Nearly 43,000 students, 43,000 students applied early action and early decision to the University of Virginia for the class of 2028. That's basically the population of the city of Charlottesville applying early action or early decision.
Yeah.
The Cavalier Daily reported a couple days ago that the University of Virginia admitted 1,113 students in its early decision applicant pool. Think about how competitive it is right now to get into the University of Virginia. 1,113 students admitted into the University of Virginia early decision application pool. That's the largest pool ever. And just 1,113 admitted.
Yeah.
The best and the brightest. The best and the brightest. This particular applicant pool was not broken down by how would I characterize it? By race. The Supreme Court of the United States ruled against racial conscious admissions. So we don't know the breakdown of this particular applicant pool because of that decision. Mm-hmm. But I just want folks to realize the impact. Obviously, we know this. But when you're admitting such few, you have the pick of the litter. And that pick of the litter goes from being an adolescent or a teen into a young adult, into adulthood. Their first chances of living on their own happen here in Charlottesville. Yeah. Of course, they're going to have this romantic notion of their 4 years in Charlottesville and want to revel in that notion later in life. That's why we see so many folks returning to this community that started in this community as students. I'm an example of that. I never left, but in the time that I was here, and my time very different than others' times, mine was very focused on different things besides school. This impact will continue and continue and continue. UVA issued, UVA Today, their top 10 stories of the year. Top 10 stories of the year on news.virginia.edu. Of all the stories that we've covered on this talk show, what do you think was story number one on UVA Today, their website, news.virginia.edu? In fact, is the UVA Today website
number one?
The URL as well? I just go news.virginia.edu. So is it uvatoday.edu? What do you think story number one is? No, you got to go news.virginia.edu. What's story number one?
I'm going to go with the melting of the statues.
That's a good, decent guess. Number one was Paul Manning and Diane Manning given a $100 million gift for the Biotechnology Institute.
It's a good one.
350,000 square foot facility. 350,000 square feet. The facility is expected to be ready in 2026. So in 2 years and change, a 350,000 square foot facility thanks to a $100 million gift from Paul Manning. Mm-hmm. The impact that that's going to have should never be underestimated. What do you think second story was? This is extremely difficult, okay? I'm not going to continue to quiz you on this. Number two story was the 34-year-old kicker on the Virginia football team. The number...
That was the number two story?
Yeah. I mean, it's a Cinderella story.
Okay.
A United States Marine Corps veteran, a graduate of the class of 2011, earns a spot on the football team at 34. He's married, has a kid. This is like a script from the movies. He's a kicker on the football team. Mm-hmm. I mean, number three story was when President Jim Ryan pranked readers with his April Fool's joke of dropping the A from UVA. You remember that one?
Yeah.
Ryan, what do you think of Jim Ryan? You like Ryan?
Yeah, I like him for the most part.
I think Ryan so I've been here with John Castine and Teresa Sullivan.
Yep. My mom
Ryan
worked for both of them.
Ryan, in his very short tenure, has done a great job of humanizing, localizing, and personalizing the president's office and the
Yeah.
president's role.
Yeah, I think he definitely comes across as very personable.
A man of the people,
Yeah.
running with students, running with locals, creating a group of people to serve as potential community leaders to shape UVA's role within the community. And I don't think it's just window dressing.
Right.
I think he genuinely cares.
Yeah.
Do I think that the community is changing because of what UVA does first and foremost? Yes. But Ryan cares.
Yeah.
5, UVA's been studying all wrong. The professor can help you outsmart your brain. That one's, I thought it was an okay story. 6, a historic application year. UVA offers entry to nearly 6,000 in early action for the class of 2027. UVA is growing at a clip that we should not underestimate.
Mm-hmm.
At a clip that when my kids choose to go to school, I think it's going to be so much more competitive for when our boys choose to apply to college, should they choose to apply to college, than when my brother and I applied to college or when my dad applied to college. It's gotten so much more competitive. And as the college experience or college degree gets potentially more marginalized, and I do think it's getting marginalized where folks are less willing to get deep in debt and they're prioritizing higher value degrees or more prestigious degrees than ever.
Yeah, because it's part of that is the rate that colleges have increased their tuitions.
Right.
It's insanity.
Insanity.
Like,
so if you're going to do it, you better get a prestigious one.
Yeah, it's not to say that a college degree isn't a good thing to get. It's just that the return on investment is, I think, shrinking and shrinking and shrinking.
Especially with the ability to get that education online.
Yeah.
Through showing some due diligence and some work on your own. Right? I mean, wouldn't you say you've learned way more through the effort you've put into research online than any other place?
Yeah, I think there are also things that college provides that aren't just about teaching. There was a kid that I remember at Savannah College of Art and Design. He was an incredible painter. He did not need to be going to art school for painting. And this was in our first year. The thing is, he was awkward. I'm kind of awkward. This guy was way worse. And what he needed from
I would say you're awkward.
What he needed from college, thank you, but what he needed from college was socialization. And maybe he could have gotten that in other places, but he was
definitely. Could have gotten a job at a coffee shop.
But he was also a painter, and I think the artistic environment of an art school was a good place for him, even if he didn't need any of what the teachers had to teach him. And being around other people like himself was a good way for him to continue being socialized after high school. So not every college is there, I think, just for
But can't you get that socialization just from getting a job in a restaurant or a job at a hospitality venue, a music venue, a coffee shop, a sales or front line type of job where you're interacting with people?
And for some people, those would be good places to do that. Like I said, not every college is providing every person the exact same experience, and not every person needs those experiences. But for some people, it's the right place, and I think it would behoove parents to help their kids take a look at the opportunities that are out there and figure out if college is the right one that they should be taking at whatever particular time in their life, whether it's directly out of high school or, after taking a what do they call it?
Gap year?
A gap year, going out and, if your family has the money to send you to France or Italy or whatever, then that's awesome. I'd say go do it. But it might not be right for someone. Maybe someone is ready to go straight to college and start learning more.
Would you be disappointed if your son or daughter did not go to college?
No.
You would not?
I don't think I would. I mean, that's at least 18 years down the road, at least. But no, I wouldn't be disappointed.
No, neither would I.
Because I don't want I'm laid back, and the last thing I want is for someone to be miserable because of something I want them to do.
There you go.
That's just a crappy way to deal with the people you love.
Judah Wickower, dropping dimes. Vanessa Parkhill says, if you are the host and you are throwing a Christmas party, then you should be comfortable playing the Christmas channel. If someone throws a Kwanzaa party and invites you, then you have the opportunity to experience their chosen music. Thank you.
Amen.
Vanessa, that's what I felt.
Yeah.
That's literally how I felt.
I mean, if you don't like
But I didn't respond that way.
Yeah. I mean, if you
I just said, I appreciate you wanting me to play the Kwanzaa channel.
I get it if someone doesn't like a particular song, but asking for a change of the entire channel because Christmas offends you, and I don't know if that's what was said, but
It's the illusion. That was the illusion that was made. Philip Dow, welcome to the program. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you, Philip Dow. Albert Graves says, Mr. Ryan has had more on his plate than any other president in the history of the University of Virginia. You buy that?
I don't know if I'd say he has more than any other president, but he's certainly had a lot, and he's handled it fairly well.
I mean, I would say integration, segregation, the admittance of all races, and the admittance of women. Like, for example, my dad went there from 68 to 72. When he started, it was male only, and you wore a jacket and tie. When he finished, you wore jacket and tie to class, even in 100-degree heat. When he finished, it was sandals and tie-dye, and women were admitted into the university. You're going to have to help me with that. So I appreciate the comment there, Albert Graves. Thank you for watching the program on Twitter. We very much appreciate you. The rib roast is not a Christmas tradition. Bill says Festivus for the rest of us. Amen to that. Is that a Seinfeld reference?
I believe it is.
Seinfeld, one of my favorite shows of all time. You weren't a Seinfeld fan, were you?
Never a Seinfeld fan.
Nor were you a Friends fan, right?
Not really. I've just,
Judah.
I generally
Judah, let me. Never had a photo taken with Santa Claus.
that I remember,
You would remember that.
unless I was.
That photo would be present on a keepsake or a picture frame in your family's house. So
Possibly.
we could possibly say with confidence and conviction that you've never had a photo taken with Kris Kringle. Did not like Thursday night television, Seinfeld and Friends on NBC.
You know, there were comedies that I watched when I was a kid. But
For example, what?
I
bet you were a fan of The Simpsons.
I watched The Simpsons for a while. I mean,
Family Guy?
Yeah, Family Guy. I was probably a Family Guy for longer than I usually am a fan of most comedies.
Okay.
I
know you well.
Comedies don't last long for me.
You don't like to laugh?
They lose their luster after like 5 years of the same jokes over and over. I'm just like, I don't care. There's not really a whole lot of character development. There's not really a whole lot of plot. It's just kind of like whatever weekly thing we have to make fun of.
Then what are
or
your top
laugh
5
at.
comedies of all time then?
That's the point that I'm trying to make.
Top 3.
I don't really get into comedies very much.
What are your 3 favorite comedies of all time?
I really enjoyed Scrubs for a while.
Scrubs?
You're asking. I don't have a top 3 or a top 5 or anything. If you want me to bore everybody by saying I don't have any favorites, but I'm going to name the ones that I can think of. Scrubs. I liked How I Met Your Mother for a while.
How I Met Your Mother was good.
Until I got tired of it, and
Because you realized they were never going to meet their mother.
Yeah, because I realized, okay, I don't care anymore. It's not going to happen. And if it does, it's probably going to be some, shoehorn, whatever. Family Guy. I loved
knew you
Family
liked
Guy
Family
for a
Guy.
while, but eventually I was like, okay, it's like 20% Family Guy and 80% like whatever stream of consciousness insanity they jump you into each episode.
Philip Dow says he was a Cheers fan. Bill says, have
Yeah.
either of you watched Ghosts? I have not watched Ghosts.
Ghosts.
Not watched Ghosts. I was a huge Seinfeld fan, a huge Friends fan, huge Cosby Show fan. I can still rattle off the names of all the Golden Girls. This is your opportunity to make a little fun of me right there. Love the Golden Girls.
Yeah, I would definitely make fun of you for that.
You don't think I could rattle off the Golden Girls?
No, I meant that I would make fun of you for rattling off all the
Blanche
names.
Devereaux, Sophia Petrillo, Rose Nylon,
Nylon?
Blanche Devereaux, Sophia Petrillo, Dorothy Zbornak.
Alrighty then.
Those are the 4 Golden Girls and their on-air names.
I would say I'm impressed, but I'm in no way impressed. I've never seen Ghosts, but I remember Rose McIver from another comedy. What was that? It was
What are you going to do for
Zombie.
What are your New Year's resolutions? James Watson says 95% of what I learned in college was social development and not a whole lot in the classroom that was applicable. I think the main thing that brick and mortar college experiences provides is still the unique opportunity to meet different people from around the world who are going through this major growth window of becoming an adult. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't for that unique social development, I couldn't see brick and mortar college being as beneficial for the current cost with so many options to earn degrees remotely now. He's so smart.
Exactly.
You were so smart, dude. You were 100% right, dude. His beautiful daughter at Virginia Commonwealth University, she may be studying abroad right now, but I know she started at VCU. James, I 1,000% agree with you. I literally would say in the classroom, I learned nothing at UVA. Now, part of that was my own doing.
Yeah.
But outside the classroom, from a street smart standpoint and a business standpoint, I got a PhD in street smarts and business acumen outside of the classroom. And Philip loved watching the Golden Girls. Me too. That's why I'm torn on whether I would want our boys to go. Because I would not want them to miss on the social development opportunity, as you've highlighted.
Yeah.
But I also, when our 5.5-year-old goes, he's in kindergarten right now, what's the 4-year degree going to cost? $750,000?
Right.
And when our 1-year-old goes, what's the 4-year degree going to run? $1 million plus?
Probably.
And what if our 5-year-old and I'm not trying to throw shade on either of these degrees, what if our 5-year-old or a 1-year-old chooses to major in like philosophy?
Women's studies.
Studies of the Renaissance. Art history. Right?
Yeah.
Then they're going to be like, Dad, we need to go to graduate school. And that's going to be another $1 million. And is it at that point that we say to our boys that, look, maybe this isn't the right decision? This is a wrong decision?
But Dad, I need to specialize in guinea pig husbandry.
What's that?
Yeah.
And at that point, does that make us closed-minded fathers or parents? Or are we supposed to be supportive parents that say, go ahead and pursue your passion because you're 18 to 22 and this is when you find your passion? Like, is it a parent's responsibility when their kids are 18 to 22 to say, you shouldn't major in these things? Because
This is a useless degree.
the upside on this is next to nothing and you're going to be in massive debt? And if you do that, are you restricting your child's development and growth? Or do you say, pursue your passion because this is the time for you to do it, make your passion your profession, and just come out $750,000 in the hole?
I mean,
Andre Xavier says Ghost is awesome. Judah would enjoy it, I think. I mean, I sincerely am asking that question.
I mean, those are questions that parents have been asking for millennia.
But not to the extent now with the rates out of control. It's like with housing. So many folks make this comment. I've heard the baby boomer generation make the comment. When I bought rates, they were 16, 17, 18%. But the cost of housing was $80, $90, $100,000.
Yeah.
I've heard Dave Ramsey say...
They were also making more relative to a lot of other things.
I've heard Dave Ramsey make the comment, cut out a cup of coffee a day.
Yeah, or stop buying avocado toast.
Yeah.
But that's a BS. I don't know. It's not an argument that holds a lot of water.
What was the minimum wage, do you think, in 2000? Minimum wage in 2000?
I'm pretty sure it's literally the exact same thing it is now.
Minimum wage in early 2000 was...
Wasn't it $7.25 just like it is now?
$5.75. January 1, 2021. January 21, literally the 1st of January in 2021, the minimum wage was $5.75. What's the minimum wage in 2023? What do you think the minimum wage is in 2023?
We're talking about federal, the entire country.
I mean, we can use the federal number. It really doesn't matter.
And you said it was what in 2001?
$5.75 federal. Now it's $7.25 federal. Virginia, I think it's 12. So in 22 years, 2021 versus 2023, you have seen a minimum wage jump of $1.50. At the same time, the cost of housing is what? 4 or 5x?
Yeah, and take a look at some of the other things that have gone up, like the cost of university, which we've been talking about. What about how much corporations give to their CEOs compared to how much they've raised the wages of their workers?
How about
imagine somebody coming in doing nothing for a year and then getting a golden parachute of like millions of dollars. I mean,
and I may have misspoke. I want to make sure I get this clear. The minimum wage, January 1, 2001. I think I did misspoke. The minimum wage, January 1 of 2001, $5.75 federal. Minimum wage this year, $7.25 federal. $1.50 difference in 22 years.
This is interesting. These are inflation-adjusted values of the federal minimum wage each time it has been increased. The first line on the list is from 1938. Inflation adjusted was $4.74. 30 years later, inflation adjusted, it was $11.27. That's in 1967. Get this. 1990, inflation adjusted minimum wage federally was $8.74. And 2009 is the last one they've got on there, $10.33. So adjusting for inflation, we really haven't seen a whole lot of change once they got it to a certain point. It may be going up a little bit, $1.50, which, if you look at it, like you can look at it one way and say that $1.50 is what, like a third of what it was, what of $4.75, $5.75, but that doesn't mean a whole lot when you take a look at all the things that you've got to buy and the cost of them.
You're getting props from one of your fans, Jim Whitcower.
Oh, I love Jim.
Say, your dad says you're a cutie pie and you need more airtime.
I'm a what?
He's giving you props, Jim. He says you need more airtime.
Thank you, Dad.
Yeah, Jim Whitcower, watching at the Whitcower abode. We love big Jim Whitcower. We should get Jim on the show.
Yeah, we should.
I think he would
agree,
do it.
He might.
I think he would do it. Jim, will you join us on the show? Will you text him on the family text chain and say, Jerry has asked for you to come on the show? Will you come on the show? Seriously, ask him that. See how he responds. Is he still watching right now?
You're asking
Ask Jim if he would come on the show. See how he responds. Our point that we're making is this. These things we've been taught or we've been preached, maybe we were preached to by our parents, are not the same things that will be preached to our kids. I was like whittled down like a number 2 pencil. You are going to go to college.
Right.
You are going to focus on business. You are going to get good grades. You are going to do this, and that. I don't think that's going to be the same way where, this is so itchy.
This thing is not
so
the most
itchy.
comfortable
I don't think
either.
that's going to be the same way my wife and I do it.
Yeah, probably not. I think oftentimes it flip-flops. You get, I think for a lot of families, you'll go like one generation of like, you've got to do X, whether it's college or you've got to follow in the family footsteps and join the pizza business or whatever. And then you'll get the next generation where they're like, well, my parents forced me to do this. I'm not going to force my kids. They're very lax. And then their kids are like, oh, well, I never had any structure in my life, so I'm going to give some structure to my kids.
Get in the military.
Force them to go to college. And I think it's the same thing with names. Oftentimes you get families that, you've got your Johns and your Bobs and your Sallys and your your average names, and then those kids rebel and they're like, okay, I'm giving my kid some like an interesting name like Phoenix or whatever, and then those kids are like, oh good Lord, I'm not gonna saddle my kid with some crazy name.
Phoenix?
Yeah.
Phoenix?
Godzilla Stanfield,
You know the meeting I was
Jeremiah
at the other day where we didn't do the show?
What?
You know the meeting I was at the other day when we didn't do a show? There was a Thorn at the meeting.
That was the first name?
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought it was a great name.
Yeah,
first
it's
time I'd
pretty
ever
cool.
heard it. You ever heard that for a first name?
I don't think I've ever heard Thorn as a first name.
What do you make of the Ramsey Latte Factor?
The Ramsey Latte Factor?
Dave Ramsey. Save a cup of coffee a day.
Save a cup of coffee a day. You're saying and you can put
Yeah.
that money into something?
Yeah. That's...
I mean, it's not wrong. Anything that you can take out and save is always a good thing. And we've heard enough. The Erpies with their show Today y Mañana have gone on and explained, I think, very succinctly how beneficial it is to do something like that, to be regular in putting away savings.
Dollar cost averaging.
Yeah.
Their business is booming.
But I think the people that say things like Ramsey talking about, not buying a latte. I think sometimes it's ill. How how do I
Disingenuous.
Yeah, while
Headline driven.
while it may be true, oftentimes you're preaching to people that can barely afford,
Groceries.
groceries, and
Gas. Look
and
at the cost of gas over 20 years.
and it could definitely be argued that they shouldn't be buying lattes, but at the same time, there are things that we do for ourselves that keep us sane.
Kevin Higgins watching the program. Love Kevin Higgins. What do you think a gallon of gas in 2000 was? The cost for a gallon of gas
I'm gonna say,
in January of 2000, 23 years ago.
and this is again, we're talking federal, so I don't really. All I've got is where I was at the time to judge. I'm gonna say 93 cents.
Pretty good guess. Depending on where you shopped, anywhere from 89 cents to $1 and change. The cost of a gallon just dropped below $3 over the last few months, like over the last 30 days.
That's not gonna last.
Wawa, I think it was at like $2.99, $2.91. Cheapest gas in town, I think, might be Wawa.
I think it usually is. That's where I go.
Costco might be able to compete with it.
Probably.
Higgins says UVA needs to get in the real estate business to house employees. There's no way many employees can continue to commute from outside the area at this growth rate Charlottesville and Albemarle is experiencing, 100%. So you're talking in 23 years, gas has 3x'd, and people are living further away from employment because the cost of housing is more. So think about that.
Yeah, you're paying more for your house. You're paying more to get from your house to your place of work, and minimum wage has hardly budged.
Basically plateaued.
Yeah.
There's your plight. What's your resolution for January? This being the last show of the year. You do resolutions? You don't strike me as a resolution guy. And did Big Jim respond to you?
I'm not really a resolution guy.
I'm not a resolution guy either. I just make the changes over the course of the day or the month or the week. Wasn't one of your resolutions at one time to hit ACAC more?
That was definitely.
You got an ACAC membership for Christmas.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I don't think I did.
Yeah, you did. From Ann and Jim. And you never went.
I did go.
Rarely.
I did go. I mean,
These are opportunities to meet people and to improve your health.
Yeah.
To live longer. To live more healthy. To socialize. Rooftop ACAC downtown, epicenter of people. What did Big Jim say?
Trisha said to talk about what?
Anything he wants. Seriously, we would adapt to him just like we're doing right now. Talk about Charlottesville. Tell him, talk about Charlottesville, how it's changed. That'd be fun. He's so jovial and jolly.
I know.
Is he not?
He is a fun and friendly person.
I want the viewers and listeners to know this. Our commitment to what we're doing with this network is going to grow. And it's going to start with the new show in January. And I'm focused on adding a female perspective to the network with female guests. And it's going to be a show that's not tied to me, where I'm on camera or behind a mic. I'm going to commit myself to adding different voices to the program, more diverse and eclectic voices. And I think we've got a new content silo that you're really going to like. It's a show that's entrepreneurial, featuring a mom and someone that is a mover and a shaker locally. I'm hesitant to ask what the response is on the Wickhauer family text chat.
My dad said, local appearances cost money. My agent needs to be contacted for terms.
Who's his agent, Ann?
He's joking.
Bob Emery?
Sure.
They moved to Greene.
What?
They moved to Greene County.
Oh, the Emerys?
Yeah. No longer a Redfield staple.
That's too bad.
All right. How about some closing thoughts for the viewers and listeners? I've enjoyed the program. An hour flies by. Maria Marshall Barnes, hello. Welcome to the show. What are your closing thoughts for them?
Oh, my dad says, speaking of thoughts, he says, I will give it some serious thought and consideration.
There we go.
My closing thoughts are, hold on.
You can't wait to get the frosty hat off?
Mandy says she'll be my dad's agent.
Lord. Tell her Bob Emery's already got that role. We can do that off air. Are you going to offer the viewers and listeners some closing thoughts?
Okay.
This is where you got to be poignant. Ray Cadell says, I've been out on the road for a week or so with our Elvis show, but I've been listening home now at the Paramount tonight. He's got the best Elvis in America right now.
Nice.
At the Paramount. The Smiths are going.
Yeah.
Andre Xavier says, I won't push my kids to go to colleges unless they want to and are pursuing a degree that needs college education like doctor or engineering. I want to give them the opportunity to do something that genuinely makes them happy, and I hope to give them a good financial education so they understand how money works. Hopefully, they won't have to chase money. Instead, they can be free and happy doing what they love. I hope that is something that I can achieve for my kids. I echo that. I would like to educate our sons the same way.
Yeah.
My wife as well. Your closing thoughts. It's got to be poignant. No pressure.
Well,
it doesn't have to be poignant. I'm adding too much pressure.
I pointed out the what was it? There was a program that was collecting gifts that that kids could give to their parents in a kind of turnabout from the usual toy drives, and I think it. One thing that I think we forget is that there's nothing quite like giving. There's nothing that hits quite the same as being able to give and see someone's countenance change, their eyes light up with a good gift. And so I hope that everyone out there has someone that they feel strongly enough about that and knows well enough that they can buy that one gift that lights up someone's eyes. And I hope I want that to be the gift that everybody gets this year as they're giving to the people that they love.
That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Exceptionally well said.
Thank you.
You want the gift that people receive at the holidays to be the gift of lighting and creating joy.
Yeah.
Judah Wickower, props to this man. Very well done.
Thank you.
I sincerely, that might be the most poignant thing you've ever said in the talk show. That was excellent. Very proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm not even sure I can follow this. One of the few times I'm not sure I can follow what you just said. Deep Throat in Montana, I always tell my kids that I hope the college monopoly on credentialing is broken by the time they reach the end of high school. I'd be thrilled for them to try something different. I studied did he say philosophy? Is that what you study? Is there a philology?
There is such a thing as philology.
What is that? The branch of knowledge that deals with the structure, historical development, and relationships of language? That's what he studied. Wow, I would never have guessed that from you. He said it was a total waste. I had to learn finance after college via an apprenticeship. Warrior AG says, Ryan had the mass shooting, the Tiki Torch, COVID, all under Jim Ryan. I will highlight that August 12, 2017 was under Terry Sullivan. But Jim Ryan did have the mass shooting in the pandemic.
Yeah.
He also says the minimum wage is a false reality that doesn't keep up with the reality of life itself.
Exactly.
Very true. I'm going to retweet that. Very true. I will close with this. a reflection I've had on myself personally through hosting this talk show, okay? When initially hosting this talk show, I was so caught up with, some of the personality traits that are my biggest strength and my biggest weakness. Quick to speak, alpha, emotional, always ready to have some kind of comment or something to say. And those traits are good for a talk show. And those traits have gotten the businesses and me far in life. But one thing I've come to realize in 2023, while working alongside Judah, is listening to learn and fostering an environment where others can blossom can create a product that's even better than me being on my A+ game all the time. Because there's times where I won't be on my A+ game, and when that happens, having someone that can contribute to the show successfully and talentedly and with poignant perspective like Judah just offered, will offer a product that's even better than if I was on my A+ game every single day. So if you've noticed, the viewers and listeners, I think you've noticed this, Judah. What I've tried to do is listen to learn, foster an environment that brings out some of your fantastic qualities on this show and in this business. And I think we've been successful because of it. So I want to close by this. One of the big leaps I've tried to make, and it's been challenging, and I don't think I embrace it every day, but such is the nature of change, is I'm trying to learn more from others, take a back seat, even though my personality makeup would say I'm often wanting to be the driver, and allow those that I trust, my wife, close friends, colleagues, to take the lead where I can listen to learn, which will be for the betterment of the team. And I think that's one of the reasons why the talk show and this network has really had some success. So I want to applaud you. And I hear constantly that you have blossomed as a broadcaster and as a talk show host. And I mean that. So that's the end of the 2023 edition of the I Love CVille Show.
Yep.
The I Love CVille Show will be back in the saddle on Wednesday, January 3rd, nearly 2 weeks from now. We have some exciting news, which I've already teased, a new show starting in January and an additional show starting soon thereafter. We're working out the details of the second one, but we do have one ready to rock and roll. We will continue to work hard for you, and we just ask for you to spread the gospel that is the I Love CVille Show and the content on our network, because everyone that comes into this studio to host content is putting themselves in a very vulnerable position, and that's getting behind 8 cameras and 4 microphones and creating content that is unscripted and very real and raw. And it's not easy to do. It is not easy to do. Mm-hmm. And I think both of us know firsthand that it's not. Yeah. So we thank you for your support, your viewership, and your listenership. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. Whether you're playing the Christmas station or the Kwanzaa station, we hope you enjoy time with your loved ones and friends. We hope you are safe around the holidays. I know it's a time of revelry and cheer and spirit, but we encourage everyone to please be safe. Mm-hmm. And get ready for 2024 to be the best year yet. We had challenges in 2023, all of us. I think 2024 is primed and primo to be our best year yet.
I just got voluntold to drive to Richmond on Saturday night.
So Merry Christmas, Stephanie, to you and your
Merry
family
Christmas,
as well.
Everyone.
Stephanie, you have a wonderful and beautiful family. Sounds like you're driving to Richmond. I will be driving up the eastern seaboard at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. with children who we hope to God do not wake up till sometime in Pennsylvania or on the Jersey Turnpike. Have you ever been in the back? Have you ever been in the Family Explorer with a 1-year-old screaming at the top of his lungs in bumper-to-bumper traffic around Pennsylvania?
I was the 1-year-old.
What's that?
I probably was the one screaming.
It's not good. Not good. Thank
Yeah.
you kindly for joining us. We'll see you in 2024. So long, everybody. Good job. That was awesome.
Mike.